On numerous occasions when Carl would say something, Ricky and Goggle Eyes would laugh. In the past I had also laughed at Carl's comments, but from time to time, I realize. Hang on a minute, Carl isn't talking utter drivel as Gervais and Tartarian assistant puts it, but there is no one putting the Chuckle Brothers in their places. This was the true and main purpose for these videos. To offer Carl some defense, albeit years later. Originally it had been planned to be just a Carl defense show, called Court of Carl or Defending Dilkington, but sometimes there is no defense. First example that springs to mind is when Carl says that estate agents have to let you know if a property is known to be haunted. Carl is ridiculed at the suggestion, as ghosts aren't real and so he was talking rubbish. Carl was 100% correct. Obviously this isn't something in a document, but if an agent is selling a property that has had reports of haunting and the agent, despite their beliefs, if they are aware of any such reports or rumors, then they are legally obliged to inform the buyer of this knowledge. I think this may also occur if the last person passed away inside the property. This is usually done verbally and unofficially, however it still remains that any experienced and knowledgeable agent would adhere to this to avoid any backlash or accusations that the property had been sold under false pretenses. Another example is when Carl asks Rick and Gimp, why was there a law in America prohibiting any contact with extraterrestrial beings and making it illegal to do so? Carl was again laughed at. But once again Carl was sort of right. NASA enforced an extraterrestrial exposure law from 1969 to 1977 that made it illegal to have contact with astronauts or spacecrafts returning. It was then amended following space missions, and a bylaw with ETs being covered was in place until being completely removed in 1991. It was said to have been something that was put into place by the formed group known as the Majestic 12, later on known as just MJ-12. Once again during a show that was in 2006, Carl claims that they have done face transplants. He is ridiculed and asked if it was Nick Cage or John Travolta as Ricky, and the Beast laughed at Carl and told him once again, not to be so ridiculous. I had a little look and once again, so Dilkington was on the money, and the first face transplant had been carried out the year before the show, in 2005. Because, a pair of self-certified intellectuals, one tubby failed pop star, unemployed until 30 and has a lazy DOS qualification of philosophy, and the other constantly bringing up that he is a scholar of Warwick University, which is no more prestigious than going to Middlesex University in Hendon, continuously put Carl down even on occasions that Carl is correct. But this can often be overlooked whilst we simply laugh along and agree with Pug Nose and the Pillar. Although not every aspect of what Carl says is accurate, he does generally have something behind what he says. Both Ricky and his farmer friend also say things at times that aren't completely accurate. It does seem to me at times that Carl actually not a fool, however he can struggle to verbally articulate exactly what he wants to say. This can, like in the last video, be linked with ASD, which is basically autism. However, it is clear that Carl isn't obviously autistic and therefore has had no need to be diagnosed, but could have a combination of very light traits on the lowest spectrum.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. I thought it was shite. I didn't know.
But sometimes there is no defense.
Got some post delivered to me today. It was addressed to Mr. Dilkington.
I don't know why that's so funny. Oh, God.
I got some post delivered to me today. It was addressed to... I opened it and the first sentence read, Dear Mr. K. Dilkington, you're one of our most valuable customers. I put it in the bin.